All right, here we go. Question number 14 from our 0314 homework number 5 in MyLab Math. And the instructions say solve. So what we have here is a rational equation. It's rational because we have a fraction with a variable in the denominator. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to illustrate that there's actually three fractions here. The t can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. And the -8 can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. So what we need to do is we need to multiply all the denominators by whatever they need so that they all are the same. So the first denominator needs to be multiplied by t because t times 1 makes t, and then it'll be like the second denominator. However, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. The last fraction again needs to be multiplied by t. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And then if you notice, every denominator now is the same. T times 1 is t. So I have t, t, and t. And once all the denominators match, you can effectively cancel them out. Okay, now this only works if you have an equation. It won't work for an expression. So what are we going to have now that we've got rid of the fractions? We're going to have t times t, which is t squared, plus 7 equals -8t. And so now if you notice, our equation has gone from being rational now to being quadratic. And now that we have a quadratic equation, we need to set it equal to 0. So we're going to move the -8t over. And that's going to give us t squared plus 8t plus 7 equals 0. And we can finish this off by factoring. So we have a standard trinomial. If I read the signs, they're both going to be positive. T times t makes t squared. And the only numbers that multiply to make 7, that add and make 8, are 7 and 1. And now that it's factored, I can now set each factor equal to 0 and solve. T plus 7 equal to 0, and t plus 1 equal to 0. Moving the 7 over, we can see t is -7. Moving the 1 over, t is equal to -1. And we do get two solutions this time. Now notice the instructions say don't forget to check. I think I'm actually going to illustrate the checking part of this, okay? So to check, what you would do is plug each solution back into the original equation. And the original equation was t plus 7 over t equals -8. Okay, so here comes the check. Checking the -7 first. And that means I'm going to replace each t with -7. And then I'm going to simplify this, okay? So this is going to be -7 plus 7 divided by -7 is -1. And -7 plus -1 does indeed equal -8. And then we're going to check the -1, okay? So -1 plus 7 over -1 equals -8. So that's going to be -1 plus 7 divided by -1 is -7. -1 plus -7 again does indeed equal -8. And so both of these solutions are correct. So for the solutions, we're going to say t equals -7, comma, -1. And it won't matter what order you put those in. There you go. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.